What's going on, guys? Shane here. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're all doing great. Today's video is one that is long overdue, and that's to show off and discuss the final G26 here. And that's thanks to the guys over at Monsoon Tactical. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen a lot of this pistol, but I thought it was time to get in front of the camera, record some video, get some B-roll, some close-ups, so you guys can see some of the great work that they're doing. But I don't want to waste any more of your time. As usual, let's get the camera over the table to get a better look at this thing. Let's get it started. Alright guys, so here is a close-up of the G26 and more importantly the stipple job by Monsoon Tactical. Now we did partner up really early on in this build. They offered to do this stipple job so I could share it with you guys, so a huge thank you to Monsoon Tactical for offering their time and services to participate in this build and give us a frame here, because if it wasn't for them I wouldn't have content to record for you guys, so a huge thank you to them for the support and everything they do. Now I will say, if you guys want to, you can check out their Instagram. I'll have it tagged down below. Hop over to Instagram, check them out, see what they're up to and see what they got planned for the future, because they really are doing some great work with Glock, M&P, all sorts of frames. You really should just go check them out. And I should also say that it's been an absolute pleasure working with Monsoon Tactical. Because of me and only me, we ran into some pretty serious issues with this frame that almost canceled this build. But they were great through the whole thing, helping me get everything worked out, but we'll cover that a bit later. And I should also mention, if you guys want to know more about the SWP slide you see up here, I'll go and annotate a card in the corner. Feel free to click on that and check it out if you want to see more on the slide. So what you see here is their welder flash texture on this Polymer80 frame, and it looks and feels great. For those of you who know anything about stippling, you know that Polymer80 frames are not the easiest to work with and can be pretty difficult to apply a good stipple pattern here. Well, it doesn't seem like it phased Monsoon Tactical at all. Everything here looks great and feels even better. You know, I doubt many of you noticed this, so I went ahead and removed the Olight PL Mini 2 here so you guys can take a look. And I also bring in a factory Polymer80 frame here so you guys can see. Hopefully that's both in frame there. But as you guys can see, I requested a absolute reshaping of the trigger guard here, you know, just to soften up some of those harder design lines that you see in the factory frame over here. And he absolutely nailed it. As you can see, all those sharp lines are gone. It's been smoothed out a bit. And the best part is you can't even tell that the work's been done, and I do mean that in a good way. It looks like it came from the factory that way. Alright guys, now we're up here for a super close-up to kind of go over the package here, talk about the stippling itself. While we're at it, you guys can take a really close look at this reshapen trigger guard. As you can see, it's a lot more squared off than the factory frame. There you go. Like I said, it is buttery smooth. It actually might look better than the OEM frame here from Polymer80. But I'm super pleased with the way the trigger guard turned out. This is a custom request that I asked of him, and he did it, and I'm super impressed. But as you guys can see, he did a trigger guard undercut here. He brought that up a little bit. We also have a pattern down here at the bottom. We do have index points on both sides. They're a little small, but it's kind of to be expected on a smaller G26 frame like this. And as you can see, what I really do like about his pattern here, the way he laid out the pattern, is that it really does tie in well with the Polymer80 frame itself and also with the slide to kind of just bring everything together. He left the Polymer80 logos, which I like, and just a really well applied pattern and texture. And if you guys are curious how grippy this is, I believe their website does have a chart that kind of rates where they think this lies on, you know, factory to insanely grippy and maybe painful to hold. But for me, in regards to like what I have in my collection, I would say this is a medium high to high grip grippiness, texture wise. It definitely, you can see there, hopefully. It does bite into your skin, but I wouldn't say it's painful, especially on a small package like this where it's going to feel really snappy. I would prefer something that really, I'm grabbing as hard as I can, you can see I'm shaking. I'm really grippy so I can control that recoil and try to keep my muzzle down, but you can see if you're gripping this thing with some force, you're going to have some texture there in your hand. But all in all, it's a really good texture. This is going to suit this G26 well. Now they do have a couple of packages that range between $175 and $275, and additionally they do have 3 different textures to choose from. You have the welder's flash you see here, they have one called the slag, and a controlled chaos. However, I do see random one-off patterns on their Instagram on a pretty regular basis, so you guys should definitely go check them out, see what they're up to, and give them a follow. Besides the great quality stipple job here, one of the other great features is the turnaround time, which is between 2 and 4 weeks, which is really fast. Now let's discuss the great customer service with that little issue I had. So personally, I finished 3 Polymer80 frames for myself, and I'm very familiar with how it's done, the process, and more importantly, the steps. So in order to ship the frame easily, Monsoon Tactical acquired a Polymer80 frame from the factory standard, and he stippled it and sent it to me unfinished, still in its 80% state. But my box had 0 instructions, so I did what I know, and I drilled out and finished the frame as I did with my others. Well, come to find out, this is the only frame that Polymer80 makes that you do things the opposite of the standard frame, which is drill the holes first and then remove the tabs. And I did it the opposite, ruining the frame and making it absolutely unusable, which was pretty disheartening. None of the pins lined up between the frame and the internal parts. Now, while I take a lot of blame here, it was unfortunate there were no instructions on the correct order of things in my box, and I'm still absolutely baffled how Polymer80 produces a jig that allows a frame to move inside of it. Call me crazy, but the point of a jig is to make it idiot-proof, that you can throw your frame in there without any worries or concerns that it's going to move and you can do your work. Either way, I reluctantly told Monsoon Tactical of the mistake I made, and he was great. He helped me diagnose the problem before we actually knew what the problem was, and he even offered to stipple a second frame, the one you see here, to keep this build on track. Now, I guess I should say that Polymer80's customer service was great as well. I contacted them with the issue, and they replaced the frame, allowing me to get this thing finished. So I guess all in all, we had some great customer service from both as a result of my stupid error. Other than the excellent framework you guys see here, the rest is pretty standard. Inside the frame, we have just your standard Polymer80 parts kit, and we also have a Magpul mag down here to finish it off. I tried running a CMC trigger in here, but it had nothing but issues. I couldn't get it to work. I reached out to several people, and no one could diagnose the problem for me, so we're sticking with the standard trigger we have here. Now, I should say that the parts kit does have, enhanced raised slide stop here, and I think the internals are a little bit nicer than your factory OEM parts kit, but that's what we have running on here. I do believe we have the Strike Industries pin kit as well. We have the Olight. I'll have a video for this annotated in the quarter as well if you guys want to check that out. And we do have the Tyrant Designs comp for this thing. Well guys, that's it. That's the G26 all done. This is a build that I've wanted to do for as long as I can remember, and I'm so happy that I finally have this in hand and a part of my collection in the safe. Again guys, go check out Monsoon Tactical below on Instagram. Give him a follow, tell him Musty Yeti sent you. Again, if you guys want to see more on the slide or the flashlight card in the corner. And yeah guys, that's about it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comment box below. As usual, take care, stay safe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.